Rev up your engines! All right, people want luxury SUVs, but they're sick of the ridiculous prices. Well, here's a used Cadillac SRX. The original person paid about 45 G's for this thing, and he just bought it for like $6,800. Now, they're nice looking SUVs, right? Especially in black. The leather's still in excellent shape. He put these seat covers on, and as we look under the seat covers, the original leather, it's coming apart. These look pretty good, I do have to say. I mean, he just bought them. You can see, here's the company that makes them. Cover Auto, I gotta say, he did a good job putting them on. They look really good now. He only paid $6,800 for this car. You're saving all that money. I mean, seat covers are peanut money compared to the 45 G's the guy paid for the car. I mean, he paid almost $40,000 less than what it originally was. Let's look under the hood. What do we got? It's a V6 variable valve timing. Being about 10 years old, we gotta take that off because they're crazy. I guess they're worried about them flying off, right? Well, I hate them, so there it goes in the grass. We'll put this back on, put the rest back on later. Pretty reliable engine. Some of them do get cam chain rattle, and we're going to check for that when we listen to it and look for the data. But as you can see, there's a lot of working room. It's pretty well designed. I'll give them that. Now, this 3.6 liter engine puts out 306 horsepower. It's got a lot of horsepower. Some of them did have problems with the timing chain, but he might be in luck buying it used. You can see the marking here on the top of the timing chain on the front side. It's got the same marking on the back side. Generally, that means that somebody's taking the engine apart and fixed the timing problems. We'll find out when we drive it and look at the data to see if anything's wrong with the timing. Now, that is a big flag. If you are looking at one of these and that engine's clacking away, especially early in the morning, hey, don't buy it. And if at all possible, when you're looking at a used one, put your hand on the engine. You want it cold, not hot, because they'll make more noise when they're cold. If you see that, my advice is walk away, because I mean, hey, he got this thing for like 40 grand, less than it was new. It's got 100,000 miles, which is an outrageous amount of mileage, right? So you might really get a good deal. Or it might be the old, well, you get what you pay for, right? Sometimes you get a lot more, sometimes you get a lot less. Now, it came with a 6-speed automatic. You can manually shift it if you want. Very few people are doing that with a Cadillac, but let's hook up my machine. We'll see what kind of shape it's in, and then we'll take it for a road test. Hook up the old tail, plug it in. This 14 Cadillac SRX 3.6. We'll do a little scan. We can do a topology of all the CAN networks, and here we go. And while we're doing it, we'll see it's pretty well laid out. I mean, it does have the stupid electric parking brake, which I hate, and I mean, these seat covers he got are excellent seat covers. He got them on Amazon for $150, so that's pretty cool. All kinds of room for his kids and stuff in the back. They're big SUVs. For 10-year-old GM, not bad. It's got 4 trouble codes, and some of them we're not going to care about. We'll start here. Telematics. Yeah, that's all the computer nonsense. See what trouble code is. Cellular phone select service switch up. Well, we really don't give a crap about that. He's got his own cell phone. He doesn't really care. Okay, and we'll go to the BCM. Body control module. That does 8 billion things. It'll probably be some other stupid things we don't care about. Well, look at the trouble code. Keyless entry transmitter. It works. He gets in and out. He doesn't care. And the right rear tire pressure sensor. 2 few pulses. That means that's wearing out. He already knew that. And he's like me. He doesn't care. Get a tire pressure gauge. Why buy sensors? Have the tires taken apart, new ones in. Stupid things when the batteries wear out. It's 10 years old. Just ignore that. All right, and the last one. Electronic brake control module. Again, too much technology. We'll see what the code is. Brake booster pump motor. Okay, if the brake booster wasn't working right, his brakes would be very hard to push down. They aren't. They work perfectly fine. Just more computer crap that goes wrong. As long as it stops and goes okay. These are things that you're just going to plain out ignore, because any little glitch, a weak battery, anything like that can trip them. So let's start her up. Starts right up, and we'll go to live data, engine control module, and live data. Well, we'll start out with the engine. Look at all that data. Remember, black's good, red's bad. We'll see what kind of shape it's in. Airflow sensor's normal. Map sensor's good. We gotta warm it up a little. While it's warming up, we got long-term fuel trim, both on 1 and 2. It's subtracting a little bit of fuel. Now, that's pretty typical. These direct injectors, as they age, hey, these things could put a lot of pressure into a system. When these things are running, sometimes the direct injectors on this GM system is over 2,000 PSI. That is a lot of PSI. Hence, as they age, they often run a little bit rich, so the computer's got to subtract a little bit of fuel to make them run just right. It's running perfectly fine. but that will happen with direct injectors. You might try some of Bernie's ATS cleaner if you want to get it as close to zero as you can. They're awful high pressure. It can help a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. You see, as you rev it up, the fuel trim, now it's 0 on bank. Now it's gone to 0. So that shows you as you rev it up, the engine goes faster, right? As the engine goes faster, it burns the fuel at a higher rate. There isn't any left over, and the fuel trim went to 0. So I wouldn't even worry about it in this thing. You know, to be a little bit off at idle, then when you rev it up, it goes to 0 fuel trim. That's perfectly fine, you know? It just proves that when a car's idling, it has to be absolutely perfect air fuel, or it'll add or subtract some. Once you get rolling down the road, that's why you see a lot of cars when they're old, maybe in the morning, they idle a little bit funky, but when you get on a highway, they run perfectly fine. That's something that, you just live with. And this one idles fine anyway, so it's just technically it's running a little bit rich when it's idling, when it's cold. Let's do some more stuff here. He was worried about those timing chains, and I think really it's been worked on, from what I can see. So what we're gonna look at is the ignition system, and we'll see if anything's odd, especially with the camshaft. It's all pretty normal. Not having to retard the ignition at all because the engine's knocking, which it'll often do if the timing chain's worn. And you can see there's no knock detected on any of the 6 cylinders. Plus the engine's quiet as heck. So we're going to take it for a road test now. I think they've had it worked on. With those markings, it looks like somebody's taken it apart. They fixed the problem that the timing chain had in the variable valve timing. So let's take it for a road and see if the guy did a good job. So here we go. Hey, it's a Cadillac made in Mexico with Canada Dry. It's an international Cadillac, I guess, you know? And it is old, so it doesn't have a backup camera in it, but you can't have everything. You can add one if you want. Tinting these windows. It came that way. A lot of people want to be spies in a Cadillac, right? Realize you're breaking the law. The police might not like it when they can't see what you're doing at night. So far, I mean, this thing is smooth. 100,217 miles on it. Take it to a little drag strip, and hey, it's smooth. It corners great. This thing's fun to drive, I gotta say that. I don't hear any timing chain noise. Wish I knew that because it didn't have any knock retard for any of the cylinders, so that's running fine. And I listen closely, I don't hear any worn wheel bearings or anything. So here we go up the hill and we'll see what it can do. It is 2-wheel drive, it's not 4-wheel drive, so it should have a pretty good get up. The $6,500 investment's looking better and better on a $45,000 car. All right, we'll look behind us. Kind of hard to see. Well, somebody's coming, so here we go. Hey, I like that. Hey, guess what? The traction control doesn't work all that well. Good. So we can hear it squealing those tires. Hey, this thing has got something to get up and go with. Well, it is 308 horsepower, and it feels like it's still got all 308 horses to it. So, I mean, look, we're going 40. You want to pass someone? Look at it go. Slight hesitation there, but nothing really. And we got a slow Mustang in front of us, so we can't drive any faster. It's got all the bells and whistles, plain old music, Huey Lewis in the news. So what do I think about the $6,500 Cadillac? Well, I think he got a really good deal on it. Now, the original guy who paid $40,000 more, maybe not such a great deal, right? But if you find one of these and you don't hear that engine clattering in the timing chain, and you see marks like that, usually means somebody's worked on the car and fixed it, right? It runs and shifts as good as this thing does. Hey, 308 horsepower, feels like it's still got all 308 going down the road. Not a bad deal for a nice, large SUV. They just had a new baby, nice and safe inside. Hey, well, I pay all that, and that was back 10 years ago. Now, they don't make these anymore. They stopped making them in 2016. They made them from 2004 to 2016. And they replaced them with a somewhat smaller vehicle. And they're not selling all that great. I mean, let's face the facts. You want a Cadillac, you want a lot of room. Do you want a smaller vehicle? Probably not. But I guess the geniuses at GM thought, oh, we'll shrink them down, you know? And of course, they're cheaper to make because it's a smaller car. The price of the new ones is actually less than this one when it was new. They're getting the price coming down, but they're making the size coming down. You want something like this that's got more room? Hey, you're gonna have to buy a used one. Just listen to all my advice on how to buy them. And if you get a deal like this, hey, not a bad deal. $6,500, everything on it works good. Now, mind you, he put the cart before the horse. He brought it to me after he bought it. But I guess he's a lucky man. He rolled the dice and he won this time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.